less health and less damage, and the common equipment reduced by 3 levels, epic equipment reduced by 6 levels. So many modifiers to really make sure that the esports mode is super difficult.
And that difficulty modifier, many of you at home are experiencing for the very first time when you're trying to push up into Legends League. But one big difference that we're also going to be seeing, the players have been talking about it so far, is the spring trap up. Well, launching them up and dealing that additional damage.
Absolutely. You can see an example on your screen of baiting the Royal Champion charge, which is one of the most popular strategies, but now with the spring trap in combination with giant bombs, you can one-shot the Royal Champion. And with these teams really diving deep into their opponents, you never know when they might have the perfect bait to wipe out that Royal Champion before the attack even starts.
Yeah, you have to be careful. But the teams who have been preparing include the 8 teams with golden tickets now from the very first month in April, Dizzy X STMN. Then in May, we had Carry Esports, then Elevate, Tribe Gaming, Repotted Gaming, who are the defending world champions, who had made it back, tried to win back-to-back. No one's ever won 2 world champions for any player in Clash. That may change this weekend, we'll see. But then from the Chinese qualifier with a golden ticket, Shibai, then Navi from the points leaderboard, and last but not least, Milliceme MG was able to get that last chance qualifier golden ticket.
Yes, and here is the prize pool breakdown of the finals. The teams that go out today in 7th or 8th place will walk home with $20,000. This steps up to $40,000, 60, 90. For the team that places 3rd, $130,000 for the runner-up, and $300,000 to the team that wins it all.
$700,000 total this weekend. Insane. But here are the teams in their brackets with the very first match that we're going to be watching today. Elevate taking on Milliceme MG. Crazy thing about this, 14 combined years of experience on the world stage.
Wow.
While Milliceme MG, 0. Oh, the rookies are going to be leading it off in match number 1. Good luck with that. But match 2, we have Carry Esports taking on the defending world champions, Repotted Gaming. Then we go down to Dizzy X STMN, who have made it to every single qualifier. They didn't get multiple golden tickets like Elevate did, but they are going to be trying their best against Navi, fan favorite. And of course, we got Tribe Gaming going up against Shibai, who's coming from the Chinese qualifiers, and that's going to be hard to know.
Yes, so many amazing matches there. So excited for today. Let's take a look at our caster predictions. A little bit of variety.
Yeah.
All of us going for Elevate at the start. Like you said, that experience factor really playing into that. But a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to Repotted Gaming and Carry Esports, Dizzy Stamina versus Navi. Tribe and Shibai, why don't you talk me through a couple of your picks?
Yeah, I went with Carry in match number 2. One, because Repotted Gaming, they were able to get the golden ticket only in the end. So they kind of snuck their way into the competition. Yes, they're defending world champs, but the meta is completely different. Carry got the golden ticket in the 2nd month, and they've been putting in the work, the practice to get to this stage. I think there's going to be an upset. I know there's fans at home who are probably picking Repotted Gaming. They're going to be saying that, but I'm going to go on the Carry Esports side because, you know, I think some things may change up here.
If we've learned anything throughout the years of Clash of Clans esports, it is that upsets do happen. So get your predictions in on the event website, event.supercell.com/Clash of Clans. You'll also be able to get some free rewards, which includes quite a lot of ore, all of the different types, shiny, glowy, and starry ore. So make sure you are watching and getting your predictions in, and we'll see whether you can beat us as casters.
Yeah, I mean, everyone can usually beat my predictions. I typically get them wrong, but you know, I'm swinging for the fences here. But it's going to be an incredible weekend. You're going to have matches today, tomorrow, and on Sunday. So it's going to be action-packed like every single year, and we're going to see a roller coaster of emotions.
Absolutely, and just the effort that the teams have had to put in to get to this stage. We know the caliber of the players that are here. But even though there's a lot of pressure in the qualifiers to get to this point, they're all remote. Now they are here in Atlanta at the big stage. Can they make it work? Let's throw it over to Barney and take us ahead.
Thank you so much, Judo and Carbon. As you can see, now that you guys can turn around, you can see that as the doors of DreamHack Atlanta have opened, it appears the floodgates have also opened as Clash of Clans fans have poured into the building. So DreamHack Atlanta, how are we feeling? That's what I like to hear. So it is about time that we introduce our first team onto the main stage. Here to kick things off with a bang, it is Elevate! They are Celinio, Bernal, Leo, Pato, and Max. The energy is palpable already here on the main stage, and that is exactly what I like to see. Thank you so much, Elevate. We are now here to meet their opponents to walk out onto the main stage. They were the last team to qualify for the for the World Finals via the Last Chance qualifier. It is Millesime MG. I promise it is them. I promise it is them because it's Anat, Isma, Nes4X, Mr. C, and Addy. Good luck, gentlemen. You can now take your seats. Ladies and gents, you only get one chance at a first impression here on the main stage, so there truly is a lot riding on this match. So let's see what our casters think of this one. Judo Sloth, Carbon Finn, what do you think?
What a match we have to start. 14 combined years of World Championship experience for Elevate. Millesime MG coming in with 0. Every single player, their very first time on the big stage with the lights and a live audience there. You could hear the audience, and everybody that's here in the house, your noise will affect them. They know that that energy is what can drive them to getting those triples or even make them nervous.
Absolutely. Even that war cry from Celinio as he walked out onto the stage, really giving that confidence from the off. And you can see that from their stats. Really high hit rate across the qualifiers. That's why Elevate was so dominant again and again right through those qualifiers, winning 2 of them, in fact. Really high hopes for them. But Millesime MG, they were dominant in the Last Chance qualifier, actually.
Absolutely, and Nes4X is the one you want to keep your eyes out for. He was the one that attacks at the very end. He's also considered Mr. Clutch. He was able to help get those triples that had to be triples. They needed those triples to get to this stage, get that golden ticket, and he did it. He ended up winning the Dark Horse Award that was awarded through the Clash of Clans esports. And it's his very first time that he's ever on this big stage, along with all of his teammates here. So best of luck, and there you go. There's the years. And they even have more years than that. Look at this is incredible. Just very first time. Best of luck to Millesime MG.
Yes, and even what the graphic doesn't show is that many of the members of Elevate won the World Championships just a couple of years ago under Clash Champs. So they have the experience of not only being here, but going deep into the competition and winning it all when the pressure is high. But you never know, that equally means that they do have more pressure.
Yes.
Maybe MMG are able to settle their nerves and make it happen.
But this is the time. This is when you need to step up. And this being the very first match, also a lot of nerves. You're setting the tone for this weekend. I'm just excited to see what types of defenses are we going to see with that Springtrap update, trying to stop those Royal Champion charges, because we know it's going to be everywhere. It's such a strong attack, but if these players run into that bait, it could be a very deadly attack and turns into, I don't want to say it a 1-star, but I'm hearing that Barney's got some checks to do on stage, so let's jump to him and see what he's got.
Thank you so much, Carbon Finn, and you couldn't have said it better. You said we're going to set the tone. I'm here for a little temperature check on the main stage. I'd like to reiterate what you've already said, is that Elevate, they have that wealth of experience. It's enough to say that experience versus hunger. Millisime MG over there looking to prove themselves here on the world stage. It's their first time being here as a team. So the anticipation is there. These guys have been here before. You've got the powerhouse on the team, Max. You've got the clutch player on the other team, Nez4X. It's going to be really interesting to see. Now, before we dive into this first match, we've had a quick look at some of the predictions that have been going on online from the guys here at DreamHack, but of course, for those of you watching and voting from home. So I can tell you that the prediction from you guys going into this match is 60% in favor of Elevate. So it would appear that everyone at home is thinking that experience is going to win right here on the main stage. Do you all agree? I think that was a yes. It appears there's some Elevate fans over here. They're going to be shouting for a while. So without any further ado, I believe it is almost time to go into our first attack. So I'm going to send you back over to the casters to get things underway.
We are just about ready. Everybody in the arena here is ready, Carbon. Excited for that first attack. Who is it going to be? We have hyped up this Springtrap rework. We've hyped up the bait because now the teams know who they're attacking. Right now, in the opening round, they know their opponent. So they can check out exactly how they like to attack, any nuances of that attack as well, and try, like you said earlier, bait them into it.
There's been weeks of research going in to know your opponent here. Millisime MG taking on Elevate. And here we go. Isma going in with the very first attack of the World Championship to lead it off with the Roots. Starting off with the Rocket Loon Queen off to the right, and we're going to see the Angry Jelly charge with the Queen Warden, and that's where you typically will try to pull them back. We've seen this attack actually come in from Max, who is on Elevate, so we're seeing now Isma kind of mimic that because it's such a strong attack. And remember, this is an esports mode.
And a lot of the teams will be worried about that Royal Champion bait. So a really wise move to play it safe here initially. One invis redirected the heroes or just kept them on path into this compartment. Now using those extra invisibility spells to keep the Queen and the Grand Warden safe. You notice that recall spell as well. There it goes to recall all of those troops out of there, leaving one healer behind, but shortly that will move across to his main push.
And there's an Overgrowth.
Whoop, maybe not.
One nice thing about an Overgrowth here is, one, you can pull the Clan Castle out, deal with it, so the Town Hall is not firing onto your troops. Pairs in the poison for the Furnace that typically is there to provide that annoyance with those Furnace mice that are jumping through. But the Overgrowth on the edge as he's now trying to continue through to the core of the space.
Yes, the timing of the Overgrowth, where
an ability, which is not only just the Eternal Tone, but he's also had that Rage Gen the entire time to try to continue the push. But the Royal Champion, she's making her way through the bottom near that Monolith, pops her ability with the Rocket Spear, but does he still have enough in the core? One Root Rider's there. It does barely open that wall so the Yeti can make it there, only as the Queen ability, and the King, unfortunately, did go down to the bottom, so it's up to the RC to try to stay alive, and I don't think she will be able to.
No, the healers were on the Queen there. The Root Riders went ahead, but it meant that the Queen was in the wrong compartment here, so she was not directly behind the Root Riders to provide that damage. He's got that Queen ability to try and help, but with her being in that wrong compartment, it meant he wasn't able to apply that damage whilst the Root Rider was tanking. So unfortunately, not going to be a 3-star for Millisime MG, kicking things off. A decent percentage though. What we've seen in the qualifiers was around about that 2-star 90% was what you had to be getting to make sure you weren't falling too far behind.
And pretty good percentage here, 88%. And if you do run into the bait with spring traps and the tornado trap, it can cause your Royal Champion to go down. If you lose that RC, it could be a very low percent. So that is a good percentage, 90% 2-star to start off this match. Gonna put some pressure onto Elevate, but it's all about who can get that very first triple.
You said it yourself as well, though, the very first attack of the World Championship Finals. So I think given that pressure involved as well, he could be relatively happy with that result. He also didn't get as long to plan against the base as what some of his team members will have. Like we mentioned, Nez4X being the clutch factor for MMG. So just getting that safe percentage on the board. And at the end of the day, Elevate need to capitalize on that now.
Absolutely. And so we all spoke to the teams throughout the days that we've been here. And I actually, when I spoke with Mask, who's part of Dizzy X STMN, he said that one of the attackers who goes first then now transitions to help to be a spotter, to help to plan. And usually the players that are trying to be planning their attacks aren't really spotters, but so now Isma can try to help his teammates. But now we've got Max, who is the MVP of the Clash of Clans throughout the qualifiers so far, and an impressive player here. Let's see, as he is going to charge this one to the right, and the Super Yetis are his choice, with that warning going to charge through the right into the enemy Royal Champion and take her down. And it's going to lead towards that Yeti smash. Will he go into the Town Hall is going to be the question.
I feel like we've seen so much creativity from Max across the season, just making those minor tweaks to make the strategies even more impressive. So let's see what he's got in store for this Super Yeti attack. Nice and safe at the moment, using the Warden to take out this compartment. Also means that he basically removes the Giga Bomb. He doesn't have to go over that area now.
Absolutely. No, the Giga Bomb does not have to be triggered. And the nice thing about using the Sneezy with this Grand Warden is the boogers will get out in front and protect those healers from red air bombs so that they will not get taken down from a red air bomb farm. But the Queen is to the top to help set that funnel. He's trying to push his way towards the Town Hall archers. The Furnace are coming out of the defensive clan castle. Does pair in that poison with a jump straight to the core, but he is waiting to use this Warden ability to really power right through the core of the space.
Absolutely, he needs it when the damage is firing from each and every direction. Like you mentioned, Carbon, the Queen at the top of the base to set the funnel. That means the Super Yetis do now move into the center of the base. We've got the Royal Champion with skeleton spells on the outside. She's getting low on health here, caught in the Tornado Trap. You notice the Spring Trap as well, flinging her in the air, providing that damage, but he is managing to keep her alive whilst the center of the base is still providing all of that damage through the core as well.
And with that RC ability still intact, one free spell left to use, but we have a back end section that is Overgrowth, which is going to wear off, and that's going to be a lot of damage as he's going to be approaching the defensive Minion Prince with a poison spell over there as well. But he's going to be waiting for that Ice Golem, probably going to drop it onto the Mortar, maybe to the far right side as he's trying to make the approach, but I don't think it's going to matter at that point because look at the Queen. There's still going to be another wall that he's going to have to get through as the ability does go off as the Ice Golem places onto the Wizard Tower, which is going to slow it down, but it's going to go down very quickly.
Notice Super Miners there for Max as well. Interesting choice moving into the back end of the base here. He's still got that free spell, but like you said, in esports mode with that additional damage, you notice how fast things are going down. Isma of Millesime MG did get the 2-star 90%, so it's looking like Max will be able to push Elevate above that margin. But this compartment is a bit dangerous for the back end of the base here.
But hey, as long as you have the percentage above your opponents, you'll have the lead. And look at, he's tried his absolute best. And just the scatter shot remains as the last defense that could be providing the damage. Of course, with that poison spell there as well, 97% Max. What a great effort there. So close at getting the first 3-star, but it does give your team the lead over Millesime MG. And Elevate, they're coming in, getting 2 golden tickets, and they won it back-to-back months back in June and July. And that is such a hard feat. Many teams are trying to just get to this World Championship stage. They won the golden ticket twice to really prove of how strong they are.
Absolutely. It does give them the advantage. You can see Max obviously upset, wanting that 3-star. I think a difficulty that the players have right now is that the meta is very limited, so that it is a bit more predictable as to what people are going in for. Therefore, the teams have to try and think outside of the box, get around that bait, and it's just really, really tricky right now. Maybe that means we do see some surprises. These player shots give us some surprises. Either way, I love to see it, but it is Mr. C that's going to be attacking for Milliceme.
The big stage, it is the Root Riders. We're going to see 4 Roots with 5 Valkyries and a handful of the Super Barbarians. Typically, we tend to see sometimes on the edge of the base, maybe even towards the end of the attack. But let's see as the Queen is going to be charging away through, and we are seeing a similar attack. Maybe Milliceme MG have really found a way that this attack is so strong that could give us the best odds of trying to defeat a team like Elevate.
Yeah, he lost one of his healers there to a Seeking Air Mine, losing a second healer as well, unfortunately. I do like the angle of attack here to try and get the Crusher Mortar out really early on, because that is dangerous for the Root Riders. But unfortunately, that's where we talk about that bait. Maybe expecting the player to come in towards that, and that's where now he's lost a couple of healers, but does recall everything out.
Oh man, I feel like the Queen was going for that Poison Spell Tower next. He just pulled that Queen back a little early. Could have taken that value down. Hopefully it doesn't backfire in the end, as the Log Launcher is going to try. No, does not open up the wall towards the Town Hall. So the Yetis do come out, but the Earthquake, okay, the Earthquake helps finish the walls up, gives them access to the Town Hall, but the Yetis, they're all gone from that Log Launcher.
Quick thinking there to adapt, but look, Root Riders straight into all of the Giant Bombs with the Tornado Trap. Immense damage here. Now pressing the Warden ability, but keep a close eye on that Town Hall. What is he going to do to be able to get that? He's sending Super Barbarians in to try and snap it off and protect the hero abilities, but they are down.
No more Super Barbs. Send the Sneezy needs to save the Town Hall. Sneezy grabs the Town Hall. One Super Barbarian sneaking in and does end up helping take that Town Hall down. Wow, that was crazy. The Spring Traps just launching them, perfectly placed, but he does end up at least getting the 2, and this is a lower percent 2 here. He still can rack up some percent, but it's not going to be in the 90s that we were seeing, right?
I mean, I love how he's keeping his composure, to be honest. The Overgrowth spell was great to help him get the Town Hall. Ice Golem down the bottom with those 2 Headhunters, sniping off the Minion Prince. So despite things going pretty bad in this attack, he's able to keep things together to ride that percentage up as high as possible. And like you said, even if it's not going to be the 3-star, you've got to try and hold it together to keep your team in this. It's a 5 versus 5 war, so anything can still happen.
Now, all it takes is one attack to turn you around, and if Elevate can't pull through a triple and they just get 97, 98, 99s, that means that one 3-star can win you the war. You can even lose 1% and still advance with the 1-star victory. So you got to stay in it all the way to the very end, as the Giant King are still making their way around the edge, grabbing a few buildings out there with about 13 seconds left. Can he get the Wizard Tower? King will not come back to life. No Phoenix on him. The Giant finishes off that Wizard Tower. Looks to be about an 85, maybe one more shot. No, it's an 85% 2-star there for Milliceme MG. Mr. C, great effort there. So we saw a 90 from Isma. Then we saw an 85 there from Mr. C. And just unfortunate, didn't go his way, and that Town Hall was almost staying up.
I mean, I gotta give him respect for attacking on his phone as well. You can see some of the players there with the larger tablet in order to have that precision placement. Some players really like just having the phone and the dexterity of the thumbs. I personally can't do it.
No.
Super impressive there from Mr. C. And again, that he was able to maintain the percentage and get as far as he did, despite the attack not going as planned and having to adapt along the way, which in esports mode, with all of that extra damage we talked about, that is really tricky to do.
It is insanely difficult to pull off. And I mean, we saw them playing on their devices. I have to be playing on a tablet with a double deployment bar, you know, because if I'm not using that double deployment bar, it is it's gonna go down south real quick. But we are now seeing Pato here for Elevate, and he was one of the highest hit rate players of the qualifiers. And let's see what he's got with a blimp to start it off. And the blimp is actually this section, but also is going to force the Royal Champion off to the right. And then an Earthquake, maybe for the Town Hall. The RC can try to take the Town Hall down with her ability. She can speed up. Invis there. Does she go to the Town Hall next? And yes, she does.
Yeah, I feel like he basically has backup plans as well, right? He can look, see where the RC goes. If she doesn't, he can easily invis those 3 defenses.
Oh.
He's actually doing it now with the Expo and the air defense to push her further into the core. And that just helps to provide that deeper defensive funnel for the Root Riders.
Fantastic funneling so far. She does go off to the left, pulls her back, did not pull that Spirit Fox. So the value was there to start, so great job from Pato. Is now it sets up the Root Riders. Remember, that blimp is setting that funnel as well, so now they have a clear alley to the left to move through, and what you want is the Root Riders to stay close together so the healers can try to heal them all up together at once.
Absolutely. It's great that he was able to pop the poison. Flinging out in front. I think they're going to take one Root Rider down there, but not the end of the world. You see the healers, they're stuck on the Ice Golem at the back. So the Root Riders are taking quite a bit of damage here, especially with the defending Minion Prince Monolith. And
On the backside, so he's not going to probably have the Warden Eternal Tome to protect through that. It's going to wear off. Giant bombs are to the top side. Defensive Minion Prince goes down, but he does have 3 Rocket Loons. There is an overgrowth on the back section, so he can continue to work one by one. A nice Baby Dragon onto the bomb tower, so he won't get that splash damage once it goes down as he continues to push through the enemy Queen. We have the King and Queen ability intact with a couple Super Barbarians, and then the 3 Rocket Loons. Where are they going to be deployed? One of them just was. Finds the Tornado Trap with the RC, but it's about these heroes and the power they have.
I feel like if he can get the Wizard Tower at the 6 o'clock with 2 Super Barbarians, once the Scatter Shot is tanked, those Rocket Loons can go onto the air defense and then snipe the Expo and Ricochet Cannon. Let's see whether he can even get to that point, though, because he's holding on to those hero abilities as long as he can, Carbon.
He's trying his best here as the King is now making his way to the bottom. The Ricochet Cannon has locked onto him. Snakes are jumping the wall. 2 Rocket Balloons, 2 Super Barbs as he continues through the bottom side. There is a Wizard Minion down south as well. Now the Queen ability goes off with that Giant. Giant has already popped the King. The Snakes have jumped that wall. Only 17 seconds left in the attack. He's racking up the percentage, so we've been seeing into the 80s. We've seen into the 90s as well with the Rocket Loon Super Barbs up top onto the Spitter, trying to take that down and looks to be just about... Oh, it is repairing that at 90%. 2-star for Pato.
Super unfortunate there. It does mean that they extend their lead that little bit more, elevate now 12 total percentage points ahead of Milliceme MG. However, stars are the determining factor.
Yep.
So whoever gets the initial 3-star here, I feel is in the driving seat.
That's all you need. You need that 1 triple, and these players know that. You could be losing 99, 97, 98s, all in the high 90s, but one person on this stage, you get that triple. This place is going crazy because we got fans from all different teams here that are cheering them on. As now Addy is going on to take on Pato's base. And let's see what he has got. Is it going to be the Root Riders with the Angry Jelly Charge on the Queen? It is. So they are sticking towards this strategy. They've been practicing it a lot and trying to take these bases down.
Absolutely. We haven't seen a single World Champion charge from them. Definitely worried about the bait in terms of taking things down. Again, you notice the angle of attack here. If the base is relatively symmetrical, oh, he's actually going to hit the Giga Bomb here. Manages to get that. Riders.
Yeah, as this Queen is charging through, and the benefit of that Warden is that Rage Gem, so it helps speed this Queen up through this Ricochet Cannon. Oh, the enemy Queen, okay, pulls them back before the enemy Queen encounter, because that would have been a deadly interaction right there as he continues through in a nice Skeleton Spell, distracting that Monolith King is placed as he's trying to push these Root Riders, and red air bombs right there.
It did hit the healers as well.
It did,
one of the healers, but that's Yeah, only one healer. At least that's why you put your Coco Loons in, because a lot of players nowadays putting the red air mine farm to the outside of the base to try and wipe your healers out before you even get into the base.
And those wall breakers from the troop launcher actually opening up the town hall compartment, but he won't go for it because it is overgrowth. So he continues through as a tornado trap does activate. Giant bomb as well. Town Hall could be locking onto this healer soon.
I'm worried about the Root Riders going to the outside here, Carbon, because the King hasn't quite took down the... He's going to get the Wizard Tower, but they're splitting in the middle. That's the issue when you don't quite have that funnel. One of the Root Riders are going to go down pretty easily. He's used the Rocket Spear, but the RC is running for the defending Minion Prince. What's going to happen with this Town Hall?
Yeah, she is onto the defending Minion. There is a freeze onto him and the multi. Out comes a Headhunter, which goes to the Royal Champion. Oh, but she goes invisible. Luckily, it then retargets off to her because that would have been deadly. The RC would have been slowed down so much, but she does secure that Town Hall, but still has the King and Queen abilities intact as they are moving through this bottom side.
Has the defenses in the middle there. Overgrowth, so that as he's frozen by the Ice Golem, doesn't have to deal with that Crusher Motor. But you see how much damage is being dealt now. The troops going down fast. Healers on their last lifeline, trying to keep these troops alive. Just that one little compartment left. He's got one super wall breaker, but he doesn't have easy access to it.
With 3 super barbs, yeah, unfortunately, what wall is he going to go for? If he sends it down south, it's just going to, it's just going to use that wall as he's going to try to continue to path around, but does not look like it's going to be a 3. It's going to be into the 90s as well. So the percentage is staying close here in this match. And all it will take is one slip up to cost you this war.
Absolutely. The pressure is so high for these players. On the big stage as well, where you can see your opponent. Maybe the experience we've been talking about from Elevate will carry them to the... Hanging in there as well. Anyone can win this war at the moment as we've hit the halfway mark. 5 attacks done, 5 attacks remain.
Millicene MG, they're hanging in there with the team with all the experience here. And again, 0 stage experience for Millicene MG for all these players. But they are not putting that is not going to scare them. They put in the preparation, they put in the work. They deserve to be here, and they're trying to take down one of the most favorited teams in this competition, not only just to win this match, but to win it all this weekend.
Well, here's something to stew on and keep the excitement for this war. You could say that Max was the MVP of Elevate. He's already attacked.
Yep.
Nez4x, the MVP of MMG. He is still left to go. Let's see whether Leo can put the pressure on, get the first 3-star of this war, and put them in the lead on stars, not just percentage.
I didn't think about that Nez4x, if they need a triple, he's done it many times already for them. So keep your eyes peeled for that as we are seeing the Royal Champion charge. Watch out for spring traps. Leo is charging the Royal Champion from the top side with the 8 total invises, trying to time the Spirit Fox invisibility. And he does have the Earthquake, but where's the Town Hall? Far away. So if you charge that Royal Champion near the Town Hall, you have to kind of use the invis early because you don't want that Town Hall launching any shots at your Royal Champion. But in this case, far away from the RC, so he's trying his absolute best to use that Spirit Fox timing as well. There is an overgrowth to push this RC right into the core.
I think he expected her to go to the Monolith first, and then she just went up to that extra Builder Hood, but managing to use an overgrowth to redirect her does mean he doesn't have that to deflect damage for the Root Riders, but getting the RC into the core and getting those 2 major defenses down was definitely a more important play.
Look at that, a Lava Hound coming into the top side of the air defense, popping right there, pulling some air skellies. And then we will have the healers going to be able to be deployed onto the Root Riders with a balloon there up as well. And I think maybe he's trying to test for Tornado Trap maybe in that area as he's trying to continue to push his way off to the right. Also, it can test for Red Air Bombs. It can test for Seeking Air Mines. All that to try to protect those healers through this area.
Yeah, you notice the Queen helping with that defensive funnel, but he hasn't actually deployed the Barbarian King yet. Just worried a little bit about that damage. We've got the Archer Queen now, defending Queen, running right into the area of those Root Riders. Archer Queen on the outside will pick that off, but notice the King also tank the Crusher Mortar so it's not firing at the Root Riders and dealing damage across multiple layers of troops.
I love that planning. Really nice. Using the distraction of the King onto the Crusher Mortar and the troop launchers continuing to launch troops. There is a beautiful Warden Eternal Tome through the Gigabomb as he continues through. The Royal Champion, she's still up, making her way to the bottom side. He's got a few archers to the far left for some cleanup. Yetis are now pathing their way into the core. Yeti might jump in over. Can he grab the multi or even the gear or the ricochet again? No, those do indeed stay up, but he still has the Queen and King ability intact.
He certainly does. He's got Barbarians to try and support the bottom side of the base, but those Spring Traps flinging. Going to use those hero abilities. We've still got time here. Notice the storage at the top. I'd love to have had a minion, but the snakes are actually going to go over there and make sure time's not a factor with that. Defending Minion Prince. Brutal in esports mode. Thankfully, at the moment, keeping away from these troops.
Yeah, he's trying to
he doesn't get the storage at the top.
Oh, it barely stays up. He does have 2 Super Barbs. He sends one of them. He notices it. The defensive Minion Prince there is going to be a little bit of a problem because it can be a distraction for the Queen as he's trying to unfortunately, just won't have enough time, so we are going to have our first time fail. It's not going to be a 3, a 97% for Leo, a great percent. They're in the lead, but again, the window is open for Milliceme MG, and of course, their clutch attacker, the one who's going to be attacking last in this match, Ness4X, still has his attack left.
Oh, this is really tricky. Like, who do you think feels in the best position right here? Because Elevate, yes, they're up by 16%.
Yeah.
But given what we talked about at the start, the experience, maybe they would have thought they'd have got a 3-star on the board by now. Yeah. Milliceme MG being as close as they are, having their MVP left in the pocket as well. That's a good spot to be in for them, to be honest. So I feel like this is really difficult to call. The pressure mounting on these players, but they've got the experience. They've got the talent to make it happen. The ball goes back across to Milliceme MG's court now, though.
Man, what a set of attacks we have left. Now, we are going to see a Knot taking on Leo, who just came so close with that. Coming in with a not a similar approach. It is some 8 Rocket Loons here with some roots, so it's not the Angry Jelly onto the Queen, but Balloons going off to the far right side as the RC is going to charge away to the right. Rocket Loons taking out the multi, and the RC is kind of getting pulled a little bit to the right due to the air skellies.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a problem, but she is back on track under that Crusher Mortar. Just means he has to invest that 1 extra invis. But look at the bait there next to the Town Hall on the Tornado Trap. He's going to be able to get that down, but he has invested quite a lot of invis spells. Managed to get what he wanted, though, and kept the Spirit Fox alive.
Nice job there, as he will have the Spirit Fox, like you mentioned, staying alive, and is going to be able to utilize that ability later in the attack as those Balloons pull a Seeking Air Mine, trying to protect the healers once he deploys them. The King is going to the top. Rocket Loons, Ice Comb, and a Furnace do come out of the defending Clan Castle. Pairs in that poison now. Redeploy that Royal Champion. Help deal with the defensive.
Barbarian King was stuck on the wall there trying to get through to the enemy Queen. Headhunter was then inside the poison, and the Spiky Ball ability was used, trying to set that funnel to get him into the base, but I feel like that wasn't the value that he quite wanted. We've got the core overgrowth, but this is a dangerous spot now with the King not on the outside. The Root Riders can split at this point.
And unfortunately, his Queen has completely gone to the bottom side of this base. She may get stuck on the wall. No, okay, the overgrowth has worn off, so she is solo to the bottom. There's the overgrowth. Maybe the Queen can come back around, but unfortunately, it's not going to plan. As you can see him reacting there, he's trying to continue this push through from the top side. But at the end of the day, it's a 2-star. They know they're not going to win on percent. So as long as they can try to hold Bernal and Seleno to a 2-star, they still have a shot.
They certainly do, and he's doing everything he can to drive that percentage up. Notice the overgrowth now off in the center of base, but that's not going to be too big of an issue for his troops moving around. Honestly, I think he's still going to get into the 80s here, or at least close to it. So it keeps them close. But like you said, they've been falling behind on percentage throughout this war. I think they can accept they're not going to win the percentage game at this point unless something drastic happens. So they are really holding out for that 3-star at the end. Still possible, though. Still a likelihood.
They're putting of pressure onto Ness4x. And believe it or not, Ness, who will be attacking after the next attacker, either Bernal or Celino, Ness's first game that he's ever played was Clash of Clans.
I love it. I love it.
The very first game he's ever played. And look at this now. He's on a main stage, and he's one of the best attackers and Mr. Clutch, winning the Dark Horse Award. So you're going to be putting all that pressure onto your closer for Milliceme MG. Good luck as he's trying to rack up just a little bit more. But even if he does grab these few buildings and defenses, percentage is still not going to be anywhere near what they need. So at this point, they're just going to be looking to get that single triple.
4x ready to step up at the end for Milliceme MG, but we're back across to Elevate now. They still have 2 attacks remaining. Should they 3-star in any one of these 2 attacks, they've pretty much got this one in the bag.
That's all it takes. 1 triple from them, and they can take a deep breath. But if their next one fails, the door opens, and then if Ness4x gets that triple, Elevate will have to answer and get a 3-star in order to win the match. There's so many scenarios that can play out right here. It's a roller coaster, and that's what this weekend's going to be. A roller coaster of attacks, a roller coaster of emotions. And here we go. Bernal actually taking on Ness4x's base. Here Ness4x is trying his best to stop them from getting a 3. And they're just hoping at least it's 99. Just do not be a 100% is what they are hoping for. But Bernal and Elevate are trying their best to get that triple. Can he do it? And he has the Root Riders to use.
Going in with that approach, using the Archer Queen and Grand Warden, exactly what we've seen from Milliceme MG, diving right into the enemy heroes there. Ice Golem to freeze. Moment, you've just got to keep an eye on the Angry Jelly timing, because right now the Archer Queen is defense targeting. Due to that, it only lasts that 30-second period, and then she will go for all of the buildings.
And the nice thing with those boogers from the Sneezy to test for those traps and try to protect the healers, as this Queen is locking onto the Crusher Mortar, taking that down. Does he continue to invest more invis? He does. He can even grab the Minion Prince. No, Minion Prince
just wants one of those multis.
Grabs around. Oh, okay, go. Triggers the Tornado Trap as well. Not too bad.
Yeah, I guess he wants both of them, actually. Getting that Tornado Trap is good, and it does mean it sets that defensive funnel quite nicely. Out of invis, so has to use the freeze once the defending Minion Prince is down. That's obviously a lot of damage off the board. Really wants that multi-target Inferno before he recalls.
Warden barely alive there. The healers were not healing him up. Keeps the Warden alive and can use him in this push now with the roots.
Yeah, super important, because you notice the Rage spell, or the Rage Aura, sorry, as part of that equipment, that is going to be boosting not just the Root Riders and the damage of his troops, but the healing of the healers throughout the raid.
But the Giga Bomb awaits right there, about to trigger. It goes off, but still hanging on to that Warden Eternal Tome as Rocket Loops are coming off from the right side onto the Queen. Okay, RC's ability's been forced. Oh, there's the Warden Eternal Tome to keep her value. Otherwise, the RC would have died and not been able to use these final remaining Rocket Spear shots.
Yeah, I feel like maybe if he'd have got the Eternal Tome in earlier, he could have held on to that Rocket Spear, but it does mean she's able to pop across to that multi-target Inferno. She is now being healed from the healers, which is pretty critical since she doesn't have a huge amount of hit points, and you can notice she's faster than the Root Riders, so that's where she gets ahead, and unfortunately now gets sniped off by the Monolith.
And the red air bombs are there. They are hitting the troops. They're hitting the healers that did hit the Sneezy there. So unfortunately, he went down. He's got to continue through. The poison did get launched. But he's powering through the enemy RC, trying to take her down. The King still has his ability. Powering in the Giant. Giant is there from the Queen, but time is an issue. 30 seconds remaining here, Judo.
Oh, that ricochet cannon in the middle. If the Royal Champion had have got that, that's providing so much damage onto the heroes with that extra damage in esports mode. And it's just meant that he hasn't been able to reach it being in that deeper compartment. He's still got the King ability, which is going to drive that percentage up. Oh my goodness, 98! It's even going to be a 99 because of that ricochet cannon.
No.
And you even called it 99%?
No.
I'm putting that on you!
No! Are you serious?
No.
A 99%! And that's all Millicene MG needs. Its percentage is nowhere on their side, so the horse winner. The one who has been tripling to get Millicene. To this stage. He had to do it not once, not twice, he even did it 3 times, multiple times, just to get to the World Championship. And there is no other player that you want in this situation than this man right here.
Well, we are picking him up. We're putting the pressure on, but just chill out, my friend. You have got this. You've done it time and time again. There he is. Do you think Millicene MG would be happy to be in this spot right now? Like,
yeah.
Restart from Nez4X,
against a team like Elevate? Yeah. Absolutely. When you know you got Nez4X still to attack in this situation, they would take it 100 out of 100 times, but we are seeing ourselves 10 Invises, 15 regular balloons.
Yes.
With 8 rocket loots and the pressure situation. Okay, what are you doing?
Managed to hit that, but with the heroes there, getting the Headhunter in, very, very quick reactions. Look at how calm he is, given the pressure that is on his shoulders right now. He's got the Warden nicely at the top. He's got the Flame Flinger getting that value.
Okay. Uses that invis, but notice what he's doing. He's got the Warden Fireball that already went off. He does have a poison, which will deal with the Clan Castle, but maybe the Royal Champion invis charge will be later in this attack because he's multitasking, and they know that it has to be a 3 because they will not win on percent. So if it's a 1-star, it won't matter. It's totally okay if it's a 99% 2 or even a 1 because it's got to be that triple. He's got to do it to put the pressure on to Elevate, as we are seeing some furnaces to the top side with those healers trying to assist this ward as best as he can, and just
to make sure he doesn't time fail as he's got the heroes from the bottom. Balloons cruising ahead of the Warden. That actually pulls the Warden to the outside, so he doesn't get in range of the Monolith. Now you notice the Royal Champion dive to the top.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. The Queen and King are supposed to be responsible for that Town Hall. The Royal Champion is charging her way to the top. She is moving through. Can Nez4X get a triple for Millicene MG?
50 seconds on the clock, and he's got to go through the... I'm keeping an eye on the Wizard Tower on the far right of the base. That could be a little bit of an issue for him, but he's got to get the RC through the middle.
But the RC will get pulled to the Wizard Tower, so she can get over there, help with cleanup as well. But he has to get through the score. The Monolith goes down. Working through this multi. She needs to stay up.
He's trying to snipe that Wizard Tower on the right. Even the Wallbreaker will get it. No way. I think it did. He's got his head in his hands. Is it enough time? RC moving through. 94%. 15 seconds.
Way.
The storm.
No
way.
RC. The building on to the right goes down. It is the 99%.
What?
What an attack he had with was that 15 regular balloons? We don't see that. Nez 4X, what a hit there. So close, and he needed that one more building. But I mean, you could say it the same for Elevate. The 99 from them. It could go both ways.
It can. Oh, the Free Fighter get that Wizard Tower, and then he had one minion for the middle of the base. He'd have got it. Oh, you got to feel for him. Such a skilled attack. With the pressure on the big stage, to give an attack like that a shot, I mean, you got to roll the dice and give it what you've got to win the war. He has done that 99%. Now we have Selenio. They lead, which means you would need a 74, or I guess it would be a 73% two-star to tie, 74% two-star to win this. That's the mark.
I feel like this is one of the most intense 10-star possible wars we've ever seen here, as Selenio is charging in with the Super Yetis as well. And we do have a Lava Hound, so we saw that earlier as well. Lava Hound could try to get out in front to test for those traps, protect the healers, pull in a Tornado Trap, anything like that to really protect. He cannot take the risk of getting that 1-star.
74% two-star. Make sure you're hitting that Town Hall. Get the overgrowth timing correct. I feel like this war is a perfect example of opening rounds where they know their opponents. They can do so much research, build the bases specifically for those players, and that's where you see those difficulties coming in as well. But so many amazing attacks here. Let's see whether Selenio's got it. Just chilling at the moment with that Warden. Again, like I said in Nez4X's attack, just letting him do his job. Set that funnel, don't rush. There's the Lava Hound triggering the Poison Tower, but also the Giga Bomb in this example, Carbon. Great use of that.
Yeah, very nice value to start, to grab that, to really protect the smash through, kind of waiting for that Poison spell to disappear as he pushes through the enemy RC, continuing now through the bottom. Ice Golem will freeze up the bottom section as the defensive RC is going down, but he will have to take on that Clan Castle delayed as he is approaching through to the core. We have the Crush Mortar launching some shots off to the right, not launching onto the Super Yetis, which is very nice as he does pair in an early rage to really power through this bottom side with that defensive Mini Prince.
Yeah, whilst the Crusher Mortar is on the skeleton, like, get it down, because that is such a dangerous defense. Look at the Rocket Loon timing, though, coming over here with the Tornado Trap next to the Town Hall. We've also got the Red Air Mine Farm pop there, so his healers will be safe. Now using the Warden ability to keep him through this section, and the RC aiming to set the defensive funnel so that his troops just continue moving into the center of the base. We've even got Super Hog Riders for the outside there with that Skeleton spell.
Yeah, Super Hogs making their way off to the right. The Rocket Spear and the Seeking Shield of the RC have skipped through as he's still powering through those Super Yetis and making their way to the top.